have the privilege to be up here with you guys today talking about the network marketing industry. And I'm not just here to talk to you about the industry, but instead to help raise your belief in this incredible opportunity that is in front of all of us. You see, I really believe that you need to be a 10 out of 10. A 10 out of 10 in your belief in order to be as successful as you possibly can. As a matter of fact, where's my 10s in the room? Make a little bit of noise. Now, I wasn't always a 10 like that. I got to be honest. When the opportunity was first presented to us, I was like a 0. I was. And then even when we started building the business, I was like a 5. You ever try and do something at 50%? Not so good, right? And then I became a 6 and a 7 and an 8. And it wasn't until Lori and I became 10s, a 10 out of 10, that our business absolutely skyrocketed. Now check out this next slide. This is pretty amazing. 67% of Americans think about quitting their job on a daily basis. By a show of hands, has this ever been you? I mean, look around the room. It's probably more than 67%. It looks like it's 90%. Well, this was me. This was me, except because of my lack of belief in the industry and my lack of belief in this opportunity, despite being miserable, I didn't participate. And it wasn't until I finally believed when my life absolutely changed. And that's sometimes the secret sauce, is just that absolute rock-solid belief part. So if you're sitting there right now and you're a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10, that's okay. Because my goal today is to have you leaving here an absolute 10 out of 10 in your belief in this industry and in Isagenix. How's that sound? How many of you can identify with this? Would you mind if I told my story? So this was absolutely how I felt. I felt like I had my head stuck in corporate America. And I started out, as JJ had said, as an executive in banking and worked my way up. Growing up, my parents said, you either have to work your way up in a great big corporation or you got to own a business. So I worked my way up in this great big international bank. It's one of the fastest rising executives there. And it was kind of fun at first, but then the recession hit. And I went from having a great first 6 or 7 years having fun to, have you ever seen that movie with George Clooney called Up in the Air? Where you had to fly around every day and let people go? That was my job for almost a year and a half. And I had to get up first flight in the morning, fly off to some town somewhere, walk into the office and tell everybody one by one by one that we were shutting down your office today and you don't have a job anymore. And I did it to over 1,000 people. And let me tell you something. When you're doing something like that, from the first person to the 1,000th person, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't become routine. It's miserable. And so when you're miserable, what do? You start eating bad, especially being on the road, and you stop working out because you're exhausted and you're tired and you're stressed out. And before you know it, you wake up and you're an entirely different person. And it had taken a real toll not only on myself, but also on Lori and I as a couple. And after doing that for a year and a half, guess what? It was my turn. So they called me in, and I knew what I was going into that office for. And they said, we've got a demotion over in Jersey for you, or you can have a severance package. I said, I'll take the severance package. And they said, you sure you don't want to think about that? I said, no, I'm miserable. I'll take the severance package. So then I thought I would do the other thing that makes you successful, and that is go start a business. So I joined a partnership in a small little startup mortgage bank, and we actually grew that bad boy from just 15 employees to over 155 employees in 7 states. And while that sounds fun, I was even more miserable. I had 0 fulfillment. And I've got to tell you, when it comes to compensation, I feel like one of the greatest forms of compensation out there that you could possibly have is fulfillment. Would you agree? Well, I really didn't have fulfillment. And I remember one time, Lori had just started her gym, and she got an email from one of her clients, and it said, "Thank you so much for saving my marriage. My husband finds me attractive again." Right, they'll choke you up a little bit. And I looked at her and I said, "I don't help anybody. I don't get anything like that." And that was a real low for us. And so I was finally open at that point to a different opportunity. And that's one of the first things sometimes where your belief starts to creep in, is when you need to believe in something else. And so Lori and I decided, well, let's take a crack at this. We'd been using the products for almost a year. We absolutely loved them, but because we were a 0 out of 10, we literally didn't tell anybody about them. Imagine loving something and you didn't tell anybody about it. And it wasn't until one of Lori's best friends and clients, Jackie, came to Lori and said, "You've got to tell me what you're doing different. You look different, you seem different, your energy's different. What are you doing?" And Lori said, kind of sheepishly, "I didn't want to tell you because it was network marketing, and I was afraid you'd think I was trying to make money off of you. But I've been doing this awesome stuff called Isagenix." And Jackie looked at her, and she said, "You B-word." She really did. She said, "You know, I've been struggling with my weight this entire time, and you had something that's working amazing for you, and you didn't share it? What kind of friend are you?" And that was Lori's aha moment, that maybe we've got something special here. And on top of that, we probably have a moral obligation to share something amazing when you have it. So between me being at a rough point and Lori having that aha moment, we decide we're going to take a real crack at growing this business. Now, just like everybody else, it didn't take off real fast right away. We had some things to learn. And one of the things that I had to learn was to believe in this business. Because even though we were participating in it, I was still maybe a 5 out of 10. So I had to get out there. I had to educate myself because we had never done network marketing before. So we listened to what other people said about it. And we let other people put those toxic thoughts in our heads about network marketing. But I decided to roll up my sleeves and check it out for myself. Is this a significant industry? And I found these comparisons. And these stats were one of the things that took me from a 5 to a 6 to a 7 to a 8 to a 10. Now, everybody in here knows I'm a huge NFL fan. And as JJ said before, I love the Packers. Where's my Packer fans? The NFL is a $9 billion per year industry. That sounds like a lot, but direct marketing is a $31.6 billion per year industry domestically. So we are literally more than 3 times the size of the NFL. Is that incredible? We're more than 4 times the size of Major League Baseball. And on a worldwide scale, this one really hit me, we are a $167 billion industry, and that's hard to quantify. So compare it to worldwide music sales. That's just a $67 billion industry. I mean, every song, every concert, every single anything that has to do with the music industry is a $67 billion industry. We are a $100 billion industry bigger than worldwide music sales. Is that powerful? So when I saw those stats, I realized I'm not part of something that's here today, gone tomorrow. I'm actually part of one of the strongest, fastest rising industries you could possibly be a part of. And that's when I really got on board with this. And check out some of the other amazing people who support network marketing. Jack Canfield, one of my wife's personal mentors, an incredible individual. He not only loves network marketing, but he speaks about it from the stage when he does all of his trainings. That's literally what he recommends, and it's in his books too, but he literally recommends from the stage when he's speaking to my wife in their class that network marketing is one of the best ways for you to monetize yourself and help change the world. Same thing with Donald Trump, Paul Zane Pilzer, John Gray. All of these incredible individuals agree that this is one of the best industries, one of the best opportunities for anybody of any skill sets to participate in order to be successful. Now, 72% of Americans would rather work for themselves than in a job, except it's hard to start your own business. You see, when you start your own business, you've got to learn by yourself how to do it. And you might be good at, let's say, the sales part, but you're horrible at the bookkeeping or vice versa. And it's no wonder that so many businesses fail in their first 5 years. Because not only do you have to learn all the parts you're not good at, but you've got a lot of stiff competition out there. Well, that's why I love this industry, but more importantly, specifically Isagenix. You see, Isagenix has removed so many of those barriers for you when it comes to starting a business. They've got tools that have created duplication. They've got a support staff of 1,500 people in a room that are all here to lift each other up and teach each other. And so they've removed so many of those barriers that most people struggle with when they're starting a business. I mean, this really is the perfect opportunity. If you're looking at that slide, low overhead, you literally get to eat your overhead. Now, I'll give you an example. When I had this mortgage bank, we had a fixed overhead of $155,000 per month that went out the door whether we booked a single loan or not. $155,000 a month. At Isagenix, it's about $150 to $160 plus tax and shipping, and you get to eat it. Is that a lot better? Now, here's the kicker. I make way more money with Isagenix than I did with that mortgage bank. Way more. You've got no employees to deal with. Sometimes employees can be a little bit of a headache. Instead, you've got business partners. You've got a team. You've got people that you love to work with. You choose who you work with in this business. You choose who you work with in this business. There's massive tax advantages to having a home-based business, and there is no income ceiling. We have 121 millionaires and growing. I mean, is that unlimited income or what? It's incredible. And you don't need any special degrees. And here's the best part. You have the ability to leverage your time. Now, I understand that most of you are building this business while you're still working. By a show of hands, how many of you are still working another job while you're building this business? Look around, almost the whole room. Well, that was Lori and I too. When we reached that point where we had to start working this thing, I still had the mortgage bank, and she still had the gym, plus other things going on. So we were full-time plus, both of us. But we built this in the nooks and crannies of our day, and it turned into this $1 million business. What do the nooks and crannies of your day look like? Well, it might be on your lunch hour, or your commute, or you get home from your main job and you're tired, but you suck it up and you make sure you have at least one great sales call each night before you wind down for the night. But you build it in the nooks and crannies of your day, and that exponential growth that starts to happen on your team, that is leveraging your time creating a large business. Now, 80% of network marketing participants are women, right? Where's all my six-figure earning women out there? Make some noise. Is that a clue? Is that a clue? And guys, what other industry would you rather be in than one where the room is 80% women? Now, all joking aside, there is nothing sexier than a driven woman who's powerful, confident, and is on a mission. There really isn't. Men, if you are dragged here today, please listen to me. Don't just say you're supporting them and hope that they're successful. Support them by helping them clear the way to be successful. Support them by rolling up your sleeves and saying, what part can I do along with you here, babe, in order to help make us successful? Because there is nothing better than when you help them clear the way to build a successful business. It does wonders for your relationship. It really does. Now, at this point, hopefully you're starting to believe this is one heck of an industry. But how do you find the right company, like JJ was saying? How do you find the right company? He researched company after company after company looking for the absolute right one. Well, you want to find a company that has the best integrity. And it's been my privilege to not only get to know Jim and Kathy and Eric, but to literally become their friends. And when you really get to know them, you realize that integrity runs through their veins. I mean, they wouldn't be able to do something without integrity if they tried. And that's what you want. It starts at the top and it trickles down. You also want a distributor-driven plan. And that is exactly what we have here. You want products and services that people want. Do people want what we have? Right? And you want a company that has a great management staff and a great bench so that when one person moves up, somebody else is there to fill their shoes and keep the company going. And having come from a corporate executive world, I've got to tell you, I've gotten to know this executive staff. There is not a harder working, more intelligent, classier executive staff supporting all of you. So give them a round of hands. And then last but certainly not least, you want a rewarding, as a matter of fact, if I may, you want a kick-ass compensation plan, don't you? And that's exactly what we have here. Now, we get paid in 4 different ways. There's daily pay. Someone give me an example of what's daily pay? Absolutely. Sell a President's Pack, $80 PIB right away. What about weekly pay? Your cycles. What about monthly pay? Leadership pools. How many of you have participated in leadership pools? Aren't those awesome? And what about annual pay on top of all that? The holiday bonus. In a time where other companies are cutting back and changing their compensation plans, Isagenix instead added the holiday bonus last year. How cool is that? So you want a company that gives you the multitude of ways to get paid so that when you sell that first President's Pack, you get paid that very next day. To some people, that is so important to have that money the very next day. Isagenix has gotten it right. Now, the health and wellness industry is about to grow from a $200 billion industry to a $500 billion industry in the next 5 years, according to Paul Zane-Pilzer. Now, he's a famous economist, if you don't know who that is. And one of the biggest drivers for that is the baby boomer demographic. 10,000 people every single day are turning the age 65 years old. And what do you know about people that are about 65 years old? Well, you know that they need healthy aging. You know that sometimes weight loss gets a little bit tougher as you age. You know that they still want to have lean muscle and energy and feel great. And one of the things that we sometimes forget is we know that they need more money in order to retire, especially after the Great Recession that we just came out of that wiped out so many retirements. Well, who has those solutions? Isagenix has those solutions. The very company that you represent. We've got solutions for weight loss. We've got solutions for energy and performance, healthy aging, and wealth creation. So let's dig in and break these down a little bit. Let's start with weight loss. How many of you have lost weight with Isagenix? That's incredible. That's incredible. Check out some of these before and afters. Just amazing what happens for you, not just physically, but mentally, when you find a tool that helps make weight loss a little bit easier. Now, energy and performance. We have attracted some of the best professional athletes, and they're not paid to say they love this. No, it's because they genuinely, authentically love this. So I saw Tony Mandrich earlier. Tony, where are you? There he is. You can't miss him. And you just saw JJ up here. We attract some of the top talent. But you know what? On an everyday level, it's not just pro athletes that need energy and performance, that need lean muscle. It's the everyday person. And you see in this slide right now the incredible results that Isagenix helps you achieve. I got to tell you, lean muscle, energy performance, that's one of my favorite solutions we have. There's a lot of pressure waking up next to Lori every morning. And healthy aging, we just talked about this one, but 10,000 baby boomers every single day turning age 65. And just because you're starting to get a little bit more seasoned doesn't mean that you still don't want to have a fantastic, physical, exciting life. And so healthy aging is one of the biggest drivers of what we do here. And then the last one, wealth creation. And to me, I think wealth creation is the most important solution that we have. And here's why. Not because everybody wants a new car, not because everybody wants a big, beautiful house, but you can try and lose weight. You can try and eat right. You can try and be happy. You can try and do all those things. But they are so difficult to do if you're bogged down by financial stress. Are they not? And so what does wealth creation have to do with weight loss and healthy aging and everything else? It has everything to do with it. Because if you can remove that financial stress that holds you back from going to the gym, that holds you back from making good food choices, that holds you back from loving yourself and then therefore being able to love others, if you can remove that financial stress, then everything else that we're trying to do falls right into place, doesn't it? So to me, that is the most important solution that we have. And look at some of these incredible stories. Dave MacArthur, I know he's not here today. I don't think he is, but I love this man. He told his story to all of us in front of 10,000 people at Celebration a few weeks ago. And he was saying that life had gotten so down and out for him that he was a mechanic and he worked underneath these big lifts that the cars are up on. And he stopped setting the safety on the lift because he was hoping that maybe that was the day he didn't have to worry about finances anymore. Can you imagine? And it wasn't until he came across the Isagenix opportunity that he was able to absolutely pull out of that rut and become a millionaire. Give him a round of applause. And Carolyn, I know Carolyn's here. There she is. Stand up, please. Sorry to put you on the spot, but you are so beautiful and you have such a beautiful story. You are a flight attendant, and Lori and I fly like every single week, so we love you guys. And you don't even get paid until you're in the air. All that great stuff you do for us before while you're on the ground, that is off time. That's a tough job. You're away from your family. It's stressful, long hours. And look at what you've created now, Carolyn. One of our Isagenix millionaires. I mean, is that an extraordinary change of lifestyle? Congratulations. Kayla Kraft, this incredible mother. Is she here by chance? She had just had a baby last week. Congratulations to her. Everybody say congratulations. Same thing, busy nurse, burnt out. I mean, nurses give their all. They work some of the longest hours. They work night shifts. They like hold pans full of poop and pee. And she got tired of that and knew there had to be a better way to be home with her family. And boy, did she make the right choice. Boy, did she make the right choice. So the point I'm trying to make is it's everyday people just like you and like you and like you. It is everyday people that say, I'm worn out, or I need a different way, or I need more fulfillment. And they turn to network marketing and specifically Isagenix as that solution, just like those examples did and just like Lori and I did. It is one of the greatest opportunities that you will ever have in front of you. Now, I like to say we're in kind of this sweet spot. I mean, all of you that are in this room right now, you may not even realize how great of a sweet spot you're in. You see, not Isagenix, but network marketing in the past got kind of that bad stigma in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, because you had no other network to sell to other than your immediate family, friends, and maybe coworkers. And so you'd hound them and hound them and hound them until they literally stopped answering your calls and inviting you to Christmas, right? Well, it's different now. Thanks to social media, you now have an unlimited number of people to lock arms with, bring into your network, and build an amazing opportunity with. And for the first time in history, we're seeing an unlimited compensation plan paired together with an unlimited audience. And that is exactly why we are seeing more 6- and 7-figure earners than any other time in our history. Is that something that gets you guys excited?